proposals, because I actually think they probably wanted to cut humanities courses and language courses, those kinds of things, particularly for a while now. So I just want to wish you well with your campaign. That today I know there was a big demo, well, a small demo because it was physically distanced, but it was big enough. I saw it on the web, and hope you can retain the courses and secure your jobs, because, you know, what would the culture be without everyone teaching things that we're all interested in? And so solidarity. I'd also like to thank Claire for having patience while I was setting up to do this. So I'll just start reading. I thought I'd read from a book called Missing Up, to begin with. It came out about 5 long years ago, well, 5 short years ago, really. So I'll read the setup poem. It's called Fading. Conjecture. If I can't come up with anything, I'll crawl over and tap out one note. I'm trying hard to live a bourgeois life, taking double-strength cappuccinos, tying coloured balloons to the fence. Ladies and gentlemen, please stop at security and put your mobile phone number on your child's arm. Crepe paper streaked with cream. Darkness drops like a blind. Holy Ghost keeps hanging on. Muffled steps, relaxed like hands in pockets. Block people move to housing department flats, clutching brown paper bagged bottles, moping round on the bus stop. Fading beyond whatever you were, a boatload of rats are rowing down some slippery stream, sitting on a carpet rug, reading the long list of benefactors to the art magazine. Is anyone ever born again? No phenomenon, but in things like slim cyber tablets, scissor sharpeners, vinyl bucket seats, glass paperweights, brass padlocks, a sundial. You only get one Jubilee, and I've had mine. No poem is meant for anyone. Literary magazine editor gets intoxicated, we get drunk. Make an unintended poem a Yahoo might like. So that was the setup. I hope there are a few Yahoos there. The next one I'll read is also from Missing Up, and it's called Ruibos. The day goes by, all day it's a bit later than it should be. By late afternoon, there's less than an hour to wring colour from the backyard sky. Crouching into the internet to counter intensity, lassitude does work eventually. Is it okay in a deflated poem to just keep everything on the surface? Be abstruse. For instance, scraping a page of coal into an imitation hybrid, like an open cut simile. The section that could change everything, the way some chance concatenation can. Plus, there's always the things it'll do not to be a sonnet. Stumbling on spongy wet-poured rubber, fig lit a fake footpath under the long limb of the tree, big fig on Ocean Street. A moment's notice. Passing Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's Institute isn't full of maxims. Sensorlight tripped. Jupiter slowly moving towards Venus. As we turn, a space station ascends between them, like little Plutos due soon, close, not close enough to see. These things seem what? Wondrous? And the less wondrous stuff, rocket parts, collision fragments, defunct satellites, debris crap orbiting a spaced-out graveyard. On Earth, an irregular line, bulky polymer bins, angles gleaming, the lane's dark sentinels. In the convolvulus, a wet stick spider protects its sack of spiderlings. Up early, quiet, at the stove, brewing Ruibos. It's spitting outside. Remember devil's tears? Sunlight shower of rain on the freezing spree. A post-war anniversary. Happy birthday, Burger King, was possibly the last sentence you ever said to me there near Lichtenberg on Frankfurter Allee. Your style of joke, now worn thin. Making sure the grille doors slid to and locked, driving southwest in a borrowed car, ignoring warning beeps and the dashboard's little blinking light. Buildings stuck around the airport tunnel exhaust stacks, blood and fur, squash brushtail possum on the M5. Show me a mouse blue, a marsupial no one likes. So what is cool jazz? Disconsolate today. It's like my hand is planted next to the Mexican marigold and is going to grow there. A hyperactive sparrow flits in for seed. Can't get up. Imagine tunneling to Java. Like to keep some mistakes in, like a drip in a monochrome painting. So, have a sip of water. That was a little digressive, and they usually are, so there'll be more digression. But meanwhile, I see some people here. I might have a scroll. Hello, Zenobia, Beryl, Judy and Toby, Kerry. Oh, very nice. Jennifer, Kerry Glastonbury, Zenobia. Very nice to have you there. I was going to say to see you, but we can't see each other. That's great. Corey Wakeling, all the way from Japan. Isla. Anyway, hi, Claire's there. I know that. It's really nice. And Kate, there's Kate Lilly. Anyway, now I like to do three poems from a book called Home by Dark that came out about 7 years ago, I think. And as this is TV, these poems kind of belong on a variety show. They're pithy, you know. I mean, everyone knows pith. It's that tasteless stuff between the zest and the juice. So this is the pith. The first one's called All Fueled Out. Watercolours riddle the city fucked up and not like Paris, watery suburbs as watery depictions, like a Raldu Fee biscuit box lid or a Mil Nolder slumped over chips, pommes frites to the ornamental bugger who pecks and puts his flirty air kisses towards your coral acrowells, doodling on the bubble backs of soaked off claret labels, sunk into a bucket of silence. Pith number 2, Feed the Orchid. Feed the orchid, says the note near the radio, tuning into New Weird Australia, dangle a tea bag into a mug, anticipate sounds, experiment, montage, batteries flat, dance on nothing, have to go suck a stone instead, measuring up, sight unseen, sound unheard, dogged continuum, swallow the algae, long for the moss, fondle the root, a wasp hovers over a corn cob, wasp or bee, makes me think of Maeterlinck, Count Maurice Maeterlinck. His second name was Polydor, original in countless ways. His never-made Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer movie based on the life of the bee. Is this a sappy nature poem? Notate imperiling plants, vanishing insects, the superseded cochineal beetle, missing grasses. What weed is that? Too bad about the prickly pear. And pith poem number 3. It's called The Southern of Someplace. The Southern of Someplace is an uncolourable guidebook. Others bunged into a grimy skip out the back at the Besser Brick Mall. The narcolep's flat out, rough guide open, drooping hand. The desert begins just beyond the suburb. Broken Hill. Nice type, Polyphilus Roman, Blado Italic, 15th and 16th centuries respectively. Night stars appear like the future, like little cysts, like dandruff dust. My sister's interstices, muttering, muddled, yet methodical. Hungover, self-conscious, caught in a laugh trap. Frowning, shuffling, never standing still. Splinters under skin, a real busy fidget. Going places on the down escalator, passing everyone going up. the end of the television section. I think I'll just go now to some newer poems that from a manuscript called Stasis Shuffle, and which John Hunter has kindly agreed to publish at some stage. Soonish, I hope, but I'm not sure when. But it's going to come out one of these days. So the first one is called Next Time. A wide line of sunlight intensifies the lime green grip on the paper scissors. A photo sits in a shadow, showing the time before quantum physics brought telepathy to imagery. Seeing without seeing is a real thing. That time you licked a salt bush out in the scrub, that's the photo. That the taste wasn't that good isn't revealed. Next time, quantum physics might try different senses and maybe preview flavour. Colours take care of themselves. It's spooky knowing how it ends in advance. No guessing next time. The next one's called And Then. And then you slam the door on external memory. Now you reckon you might have fallen behind. A purple sea slug slithers through an internet stream. Online journals are zines stuffed with old stuff, faking new. Is this 2003 again, plus late addition to Make It Meme? My tinted lens can't tell when I've flattened the mood. Shifting conception retrofits the satellites. They're all as small as loaves of bread, dough-swallowing twilight zones. Standing room only in a 25 square metre bar. Retweet romantic. And that's literally Italian. Wow. And that's only 8 nostalgic decades. It's in black and white. Shadowy singlet, lipstick, bicep, smoke rings, reflective sunlit, window ledge leaning, cheapest pack of Winnies, classic. Almost time to channel the world's best astrophysicist. Already, we're excited to announce he died. And we're thrilled to announce cake and nude fish poke. Fad Dreaming won the winners thing at the salon opening of iconic editorial fancy crafted, very good postcards of the picket line. I guess that one's a little bit harsh, a little bit cynical, but why not? It's very strange talking to, it's like talking to yourself here. I know you're there, but it's a strange experience. So just thought I'd let you know. It's a bit odd. I'll read a poem now called Weevils. I don't know how I'm going for time. Probably I'll find out. We started a few minutes late, so I'll just read Weevils. Autumn started in the dark. Out in smog, propping up vandalised share bikes on the filthy canal makeovers paths, slippery heaps of sediment, earth movers that never said, sorry, rhizome. Shenmen Spirit Gate acupressure finally got you to sleep around 4 a.m. Chia seed weevils dragged their strands through breakfast. By late morning, you're lying in a park staring at a too-high construction crane, not half-drunk on drink, half-drunk on grey sky glare and pittosporum fuzz. The other side of equinox, Bindi, oh, what have I got? Excuse me, Claire. Oh, I can go to 8:40. I'll come back to the other side of equinox. Thank you, Claire. The other side of equinox, Bindi, caltrop, dandelion, oxalis, weeds are just plants out of place. Not so good, all of this, a petty bourgeois weed list in a petty bourgeois poem, plus the grass is wet. Acupressure chia seed equals the closest you've come to gentrification. In Australia, it's all profit and bigotry and weevils. You guess your gripes are class-riddled, the déclassé your cultural pretension. In the army, where you're mostly from, rank masked class. It's Maundy Thursday morning, not Monday. Thursday morning, mournful Maundy. Wash my feet, give me some money, buy me a can of Vitality Air. If not, a sports drink will do. So I have probably one more from that lot, from the new lot that's coming up. Then they're not that new; they've been going over a couple of years, but eventually, you know, they seem to get into a manuscript, and it's a book later, which is always a bit miraculous. This one's called Ding-a-ling Byways, and actually, I was thinking of calling the book Ding-a-ling Byways, but then I thought that's just a little bit too loony, you know, bit loony. So I thought Stasis Shuffle was probably more conceptual and would give me more, you know, sort of elderly cred or something. So I'll read Ding-a-ling Byways, which is not the title poem. Curled up sort of spongily, little bit sleepy on a quilted ottoman. Ding-a-ling, friendly greetings. Not a problem. You're lying down in a state art institution. His Royal Highness watercolours stuck in an unlit corridor between the foyer and the toilets. In the toilets, the basin soap dispenses murky patchouli. This is the way the portal works. Drifting through creaking parquet. Free screening, theaterette. No advance bookings, no babes in arms, late comers not admitted. Prime time's grotesque flashback. Narcissism gives the script an antic energy. Gina Lollobrigida kept her films in the fridge. Solomon and Sheba next to dog food, beat the devil with wilting celery. Was the limited theatre of thunder the worst Super 8 film ever? A few stock phrases. Ironic echo. Watching paint dry. No holds barred. Rare sequel. Tour de force. Subtle profundity. Digital byways. Crummy canteen, pukey tongue and hungry. Could do with an avalanche of breakfasts. You know, Her Royal Highness Duchess pops her muesli on Instagram. We are not a muesli. I know that's corny. Designery semiospherics, spots of blood on toned hybrid custom fabric. Small mirror, large in imagination. 3 purple hair dryers blow hot air, some kind of modish sculpture. Exit feedback. Win a trip to Athens in 12 words or fewer. Tell us about your visit. On a scale of 1 to 10, everyone loves a Greek fret. So that's the art gallery. And I think if it's okay, I have somewhere here, and it's a poem that I've written recently, and this will probably get me to the end of the poems. It's another digressive, longish one. That seems to be what's happening. It's called Shadow Fold. Startled out. There was something, I don't know, modernist about it. Imagining your walk to the field of weeds like nimbling an interior Basotso for around 10 seconds. Not experimental realism this time then? Yes, but no. Someone has crocheted human pathology so exactly, but more lumpy, more pastel. A walkabout request. Please remove my shoes. Go tear up a tree, you say, dryly. Dryly comes a reply. Heading for the backwater of the unhelpful then, upwards inflection. Sorry about the archival tone and rejecting the past again just then. Misrepresentations, missing representations. The past is an invention that once archived destroys the commons. Execrable. Third day, third decade, the East Coast is burning. Here is a funeral, a salve to the wounds of impossible strife, an aging lover and an adult child. Death doesn't help. Talk goes around in performance. Hardly anyone knows anyone. Exit a spectacle, enter a stupor. The proof is in the stupor. Late at night, from across the street, Christmas lights shine directly onto your face. Talk swirls around your head. The day repeats. Dust and ash, particulate builds. Black leaves float to the paving and disintegrate. Dreaming up a painting caption. Could be a brack, could be a brack. Dark soggy foam in the florist bouquet, brackish and brackish. A vase viewed from the rug. Covered in newsprint, all known news confirmed. The orchids sag, cells transpire in mineral air. Disengaging sounds a bit light. Slow shadows form, blind slats stripe the perspex, oblong, abstract, silvery green, black, low intensity orange, specular reflection. Kind of lulling. Genuine and known, permanent bad news. The paper slips out of focus onto the floor. Dove couple cooing. I could just go to bed and die. Boxing Day Arvo could be a caption. Too much. Writing from somewhere, you send too much interpretation. You solicit the world, knowing it's final. Life's a hallucination, you say. Used to watch you track your changes, modify your status from averse to reluctant, and still frame your habits as improvement on dadada.com.au. Since then you always say, wherever you turn, you're already there. You know where you are and you know who you are. And you love your fast-paced lifestyle predicated on the new. Chucked out your Uniqlo shirts, your broken phones, all your books, all your square and miserly documents. You will fail if two-factor authentication gets in your way. Luckily, a mood can change. Like when you get a feeling that you can snatch a sonnet out of the air. Tropical gecko, 10 p.m. Subtrop rat, 11 p.m. And anyway, 11:10 p.m, ringtail possum ghosts a satellite cable. Fold up my shadow, put it away. The end. I should say the last couple of stanzas before the last two lines of that poem I wrote after Liam Fernie sent me a message saying that he was feeling like snatching a sonnet out of the air. So I kind of dedicated that bit to Liam. Now, I wonder what's going on. I seem to have... Michael Farrell. Are there any questions? I'm hoping not. But if you have some, sometimes she will be able to see them and respond afterwards. Chuck them. Chuck what? The questions or the Uniqlo shirts? I think that's Emily. Yeah. Chuck the Uniqlo shirts, except they can be handy. No questions. What I deemed the ski jump when I moved to Oz. Oh, upwards inflection. Oh, that's very funny, Kent. I can see the comments, Claire. I see Kent. Oh, okay. How many poems in Stasis Shuffle? I don't know. It's about 100. It's not a big fat book. It's about 100 A4 pages as a manuscript, about 102 or something, Toby. So it's not, and it's actually more friendly than, I didn't read anything from Click here to what we do if anyone's read it, because they're about 10 minutes or sometimes 12 minutes long, and it has a kind of, it's a little bleaker. It's more like the times right now, actually, that book. But I didn't feel like doing that. I thought I might try and be either a bit more bitter with the last poem, or a little bit more humorous with the old ones from the old pithy ones. But the Stasis Shuffle will have it's not Status Shuffle. It's Stasis Shuffle. By the way, I saw that someone thought it Toby thought it was Stasis Shuffle. That's quite a good concept too, isn't it? But it's Stasis Shuffle, which is kind of awkward to imagine. But I think it's more friendly because there are poems in there, two friends, and friends. There's personism all over the place because friends are mentioned a lot. So I think it's a bit more queer than my earlier stuff. There's a few funny kind of there's a few funny queer poems. There's more comments coming down there. I think it's, where am I? I can see the comments. Psychotic laughter having a companion. Didn't feel right without my psychotic. Oh, I would have loved to have heard some psychotic laughter from Corey. I've heard it before. What? Judy sent me a flag. Is that like is that the end of a Grand Prix? it's yeah. Thanks, Judy. Well, I don't know. I think maybe that is the end of my evening. I apologise for doing this in a room full of books. I've culled them many times. I've tried to cull them again and again and again, but there's so many that I just can't cull. But this wall here, I must tell you, is in front of me is fairly bare except for 3 little pictures. So it's not just wall around books, which is a relief. Maybe I should say Alexandria by way of Dingaling. Dingalinguistics, very clever. It'd be nice to see everybody. Like once this is all over, read us a funny queer poem. Are you sure? Have we got enough time for one funny queer poem? I'll find it. It's not very long. I think some people might have heard it. Sorry, I'll just find it. It's here somewhere. Quickly. I'll probably never find it. It's actually in, I don't know. No, I can't find it. I've got a few funny queer poems. Sorry, Zenobia. But that one was published somewhere. I think actually in Michael Farrell's that was a queer reading. What was that, Michael? I think you published one of my funny queer poems. Anyway, I can't remember the anthology. Sorry, Zenobia. No, don't wait. I can't. It's too. Well, you're not waiting, are you? If you are waiting, I will go through this folder and find it. It's getting on. We're a minute over time. I'll have a look. Sorry about this. It's just a bit not in a book. Where is it? All these poems. Oh, here's one. This isn't the one I was thinking of, but this one's a nice one. This is a queer poem, sort of. It's called The Real, for Zenobia Frost. Coming down with Monday-itis in my kind of golden, kind of biscuity, actually kind of Bitcoin-coloured pyjamas, can't crawl anywhere. Invited to some kind of romantic sublime author-tourism headstone visit, shuffling in the footsteps of great miners in Rookwood. Well, you just can't make poems out of real objects. That'd be sculpture. Just before lesbian poems began menstruating, evil boy genius Jack Spicer desired a peculiar derangement of experiment. But what's happening? Everyone's screaming refusals and demands in the auditorium. The gathering seems funny from the outside. What will they persuade themselves to do by yelling? Jack was right when he said, the imagination pictures the real. So it's queer in that Jack was queer and, He was an evil boy genius. There are others. I think I should stop. Paper shuffle. No one has anywhere to go. Well, we could leave this room, perhaps. That'd be sculpture. I think it's the end. Thank you all for your comments and for listening in and watching. And I really would like to see everyone in real life when we get, out of all this. Well, I don't think we'll get out of it, but, I'll see you at 5 Paces somewhere soon, I hope, because I miss everybody. And I'm sure you do too. We miss our social life because actually interaction, I really don't think techno can replace interaction. But sometimes I think I'm also quite good at being a hermit. So I guess, it's like that. Anyway, thanks very much for coming tonight.